How about you first start with a little bit about yourself and how you found the VP and the community?
Okay. Are we looking for like a deep dive history of who is Brett, or you just want like here's the cliff
Oh
notes?
man, you know I want to know everything. We got time.
All right. Well, I mean, you did give me kind of a preface, so I think a lot of these topics are going to cover things, so no need to like dive into all of it right off the bat.
Right.
Wow, where to begin? All right. So like, I'm 43. I'm originally from Florida. I know we're going to talk about potentially like my transition to California. I am a huge passionate gamer, as most everybody in this room probably is as well. I got my start in gaming at 6 years old
Hey, can you
when
hear me,
my
Jack?
babysitter brought over a Nintendo Entertainment System and popped in Super Mario Brothers and Contra. And ever since then, I knew that this was what I wanted to do. I wanted it to be my passion, my hobby, as I grew up later, like somehow a career into that. So like I said, transitioning many years later, I have just been, using this hobby as a way to, find friends, find work, and pass it on to my child, who is also a passionate gamer as well. Gaming taste his generation is a bit different than mine. Sadly, I'm not into the whole like I'm just gonna play Roblox and Minecraft every day and be happy, but to each their own. He did start off heavily with Zelda and Mario, so I got him and I got the roots started there correctly. And I'm currently in California. I've been a designer for over 20 years, and thankfully, I've been able to bring that into the gaming industry. In terms of VP, was really a couple years ago. I told myself as like a New Year's goal, I want to like be a little bit more social. I want to find more friends outside of like work. So like I said, I have this Twitter account. It's like 10 plus years old. I don't know how old it is at this point. And I have like 80 followers, and they're all like friends that probably don't game. So, but there's plenty of gamers on this app. So let's see if I can like maybe like try to find a few. And that's when I started posting daily. At first, it was just like repeating gaming news, posting a random clip here and there. Aside from virtual photography, my other main passion in gaming is trophy hunting. So I like going for those platinums. I'm a PlayStation ecosystem person, but I also play Nintendo. So the post evolved to just retweeting what others were saying and posting my own content, and eventually I discovered the beautiful world of virtual photography. And the first game I think that really pushed me into it was Shadow of the Colossus. It's one of my most favorite games
Oh
ever.
wow.
And I met at that point, I was starting to get a nice little following and, engaging with people. And I wanted that platinum trophy in Shadow of the Colossus. And I don't know if anybody's aware, but it requires like 6+ playthroughs for various reasons.
Oh
It
Is
is
the
no, I
final one getting
didn't
to
know
the
that.
top of uh castle?
there's a trophy for getting to the top of the castle. Yes.
Oh god damn,
Um,
man, that's like a couple of playthroughs just there, isn't it?
yeah.
Just that
Uh,
bit.
it's just I'd have to like double go back and look at my trophy list to see exactly why there's so many multiple playthroughs. But I think it's partial difficulty related. It's partial. You only get certain elements until you beat it a certain amount of times. Then there's time trials. There's time trials on another difficulty.
God damn.
So I remember when I played the game, I loved the game, and but I was like, I'm not going to go for this platinum, and that was years earlier. And then when I realized I wanted to go back to it, I was like, I think I could chip away at this. And then again, getting back to virtual photography, I dabbled with photo modes before, but I never really like gave it much thought. Other than like, oh, there's a trophy for taking a photo. Let me open that up. I love the aesthetic and the emptiness of that world of Shadow Colossus. Like the gameplay loop of just bosses and this beautiful world, and the remake is great. I beat it originally when they I want to say a remaster. It was like the game came out like PS2, and then they had like a collections edition like PS3, I think. I played that one, and then Blue Point did the remake towards the end of the PS4 cycle, and that's the one that I got the platinum on. Beautiful game, beautiful photo mode. I was engaging with a couple other people, and one of them did like I'm gonna post a different Colossus every day, and I was like, that sounds like a fun little challenge, and that's kind of like what got the ball rolling. Long story, winding this long story down.
Yeah.
I did that, and then once I got through all 16, I was like, I still want to take pictures. And it kept pushing me, and then eventually I was like, I think this is like a new thing I want to keep pursuing. And that was September 2022. So it's been 2 years. And I try to post at least once a day. So that's where I'm at with that.
That's actually really cool. And with the last interview, Barry was singing its high praises, right, Jack?
Yes.
And I'm like, I really gotta try. I really gotta try and play this thing because everybody seems to absolutely love it when they start it.
It's one of those games that, like, I don't think it's going to be everybody's cup of tea. Partially because the control, even with the new game or with the remaster, the controls still are kind of like a little archaic. So there's already a hurdle of entry. But I do think like there are no enemies aside from the bosses, and you get to the first, like, the whole point is like find the boss, find the Colossus, and then take it down. And they do such a great job of diversifying not only the aesthetics but like the engagement of how you would take it down. Like the first one is literally I'm gonna start climbing from its foot until I get to the top. There's a predetermined path, there's points of grappling on, and it's straightforward. It's basically a tutorial, even though it's not presented as it is. And then as you go through the game, it's like, all right, well, now I have one that's flying, I have one that goes underwater, I have one that has no spots whatsoever. I have to find a way to get to a spot that's like at its midpoint. And it's just it's just awesome. So it's like one of those like games that I will probably go back to quite frequently.
Who's your favorite Colossus?
I would say the I should know them names, shouldn't I? Because I play the game multiple times. It's the one in the desert that flies, because it's like,
see, that's mine. The first time you come across that bit, it's like, wow, how the hell am I going to do this?
I think it's like the third to last. At that point, you've dealt with 10 plus of them, and it does a great job of like giving you a bit of a multi-stage way of tackling it. And I know the game, the game's out for a while. I don't like spoiling things, but it's like, if you haven't played it, I don't want to like give away the secrets of how you tackle it, but it just involves multiple steps of things you've done with previous Colossus. And it's a gorgeous part of the area, that empty desert landscape. And just being attached to something that massive as it's flying over the world is just it's just amazing. I will tell you, my least favorite ones are probably the ones that aren't big. They're like, there's two of them and they're like human size. And
you're not Colossus, you're just a little giant.
They're little giants, yeah.
It was the tigery type.
Would you
one.
say, yeah?
Sorry, B.
A tigery type.
Yeah.
Is that like from jungle or something?
No, it's in, I don't know what it's. It's in a cave or something. I can't remember now.
Yeah, not only that, I think partially my the first time I played it, that was probably the one that killed me the most, because it was like, because it's small, it's fast and nimble, and if you don't dodge it appropriately, it will like take you down easily.
Would you say this game is your favorite of all time?
I've had times where I think I've said that it's my all time. I think it's top 3 for sure. I generally don't like to like pigeonhole games, because like I'll go back and like because I'm a trophy enthusiast, like I'll go back and look at my list multiple times throughout the year and see like, so what did I go through again? And there are clearly games that were like, okay, this was like fine, and this one was good. But then I'm very selective when it comes to what I play. Like, I don't just play anything to get a trophy. I don't just play. I want my trophies to be like deliberate. So I want a challenge. I want something that's not going to be too much of a grind, and I want something that is generally well liked. So I play a lot of games that I'll go back and I'll be like, I had so much fun with like the majority of these. But like Shadow of the Colossus is probably like top 3. I would say God of War 2018 sounds like a cliche one to say, but I loved all the original God of Wars. And when it took a break and it came back and it was just this like massively upgraded experience with a different tone. Like it still has like the violence and the stuff you'd expect from a God of War, but it was just like taken to a different level. I would say God of War 2018 is the one other game that might compete with Shadow of the Colossus for like top game of my favorite game all time.
Mm.
The other one would be, and if somebody quizzes me on this, I'm gonna fail, and it's gonna sound like I'm just making this up, but like Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island on Super Nintendo. I love that.
That was sick. I
I
love
love
it.
that game so much. Every now and then I will reboot it on Nintendo Switch Online, and I'll only play like a couple levels or maybe up to the first boss, and then I'll like drop it off because it's like so many games. I don't have time to replay. I don't have time to replay games. I'm not going to get to every game I ever want to play, but I have such fond memories of that game, and it is still a fantastic game to this day, as most Nintendo games are. But like, when I think of a Nintendo Mario game, that's the one that always comes to mind first.
I think my favorite Mario game for me is actually Mario Sunshine.
That is not a popular choice.
I know everybody hates it because I think it's people say it hasn't been made. Like it doesn't feel like it's completely finished. I don't know why I like it so much.
I think okay, so like I'm not judging you. Like I love Mario Sunshine. I attempted to go back to it. I on my counter behind me, I have what few handheld games or games. No, I don't actually have a copy of it. Do I? It's a collection that came out on Switch, or I think. So you have like Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, and Sunshine. And I went through Galaxy and I went through 64, and then Sunshine. I was like, oh, I'm struggling with this. I don't know if it's just the controls didn't transition and they're maybe a little more archaic with the whole flood thing. But I do remember enjoying it. I completed it 100% when it came out. Let me ask you, like, at what point is that like one of your first Mario games? So it's like a bit more of a nostalgic thing that makes you say it's your number one?
I think okay, so there's a couple of things. I had to think about this one. Thanks for asking me that question. For that game, I love the beach, and I think the water is well made for its time. Like the water.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yes, I think it came out on GameCube. I had the orange GameCube, and finally something was mine because usually I used to borrow my brother's
Mm-hmm.
consoles. So that was like one of the first games. That and a SpongeBob game. So yes, it does give me nostalgia for sure.
Yeah. I think I do, like I said, I do enjoy it. I should really give it another go because I have it. I can go play it if I want. I think just following up,
But from Mario Galaxy to that, oh my gosh, Mario Galaxy is
it
gorgeous.
sits between Mario 64, which is like a masterpiece of like considering it was the first 3D Mario and that transition from 2D to 3D, and it just was mind blowing.
Right.
And then Galaxy, a lot of people will say Galaxy is their number one. So it sits between those two. So I think it's like the middle. The what's the phrase for like the middle child of the family? Like it's the redheaded child or something.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I do definitely think that's why I adapt. Now, I know in the beginning, for me, you cut off a little bit, but what was your childhood game or nostalgia game?
Was this? Are you saying something that I mentioned already, or are you asking a new question?
I think you mentioned it in the beginning, but
Okay.
it cut off for me.
Um,
Did you
I
mention
think
it?
I said that I had a babysitter come over when I was 6 years old, and he brought over a Nintendo Entertainment
Hmm.
System. So this is in the mid '80s, and he had Super Mario Brothers and Contra, and I still like I have very few memories I can think of before that. I'm pretty sure I was 6. I could be 5 maybe, but like I remember him bringing the console over, putting it on our TV, and playing. And it's like one of those it's like an inside out. What do they call it? Those like key memories or sort of what it's like. That's the
Core memory.
A core memory
core
or
memory.
something.
It's like
Yeah,
core
yeah, yeah, core
memory.
memory.
Yes. And I still remember it to this day. So that is what like led me down the path to where I am now.
That's actually incredible. Are you like, okay, I think one of the questions I want to ask is, how does it feel to work for PlayStation and being a gamer?
It's amazing. Is the
I
short
bet.
answer. So there's a very interesting story that maybe we can like the journey to there is interesting. Uh, I was a Nintendo person, and then when the first PlayStation came out, I was in my mid teens, like 15, 16. I got a job working at a RV campground convenience store on weekends when I was still in school. I mean, I was in school, so started out in summer and I kept it when I went into like sophomore year or junior year. And I specifically got the job and saved up money because I wanted a PlayStation. So I saved up my checks for a couple months, and I got a PS1 with Alien Trilogy because obviously I'm an Alien fan,
That was
and
awesome, that trilogy.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Warhawk. I think it was those two games. There might have been a third, but I obviously don't remember it very well. um, and then I was like, oh man, I am not just a Nintendo person. I am also a Sony person. I had a Sega Genesis. Like I'm not like a console warrior. I'm not like, oh, it's only Sony. And even as a employee of Sony, like I would not like push people to only play Sony games. But like that was like the foundation to another pillar of my gaming life. What was that? So it's like Nintendo and PlayStation are like my bread and butter. And when they eventually, and you know, as gaming evolves over the generations, you now have ecosystems, right? So it's like I have an account on my PlayStation. I have a PlayStation account. I earn trophies. I've got history there. I've got friends there, and I'm not going to transition from that. So kind of like so like this is all about like what how's it feel to work at a PlayStation as a gamer. It's like it's fucking awesome. Sorry, I'll try not to swear too much. And
I swear all the time. You should.
okay.
It's okay.
I've been there. I will be there for 4 years next month, and I still walk in. And I work from home. I don't go in the office very much. Like when I started there, it was mid-pandemic. I left a job at my desk and started a job the next week at my desk at home. So that was interesting. But I still walk into that office and I will like just stare at everything and be like, I can't believe I work here. Like
Such admiration.
there's a
I
statue of
bet.
Kratos next to the elevator that I take up to my floor. Um, there is a cafeteria where they have character themes on the freaking cafe menu. So it's like just little things like that. It is amazing, and I never thought I would. For a long time, I never thought I would like get to work in this industry. I went to a digital art school. It's called Full Sail. Some people might be familiar with it. It's pretty popular now. It's in Florida, and I went there like, I'm gonna learn how to make games. I want to be in the video game industry. This is what I want to do. It's my passion. And I took a digital arts course that kind of like threw everything at you. It's like, here's some Photoshop, here's some graphic design, learn Photoshop and Illustrator. Here's some web stuff. So learn how to like code and learn how to like build websites. Here's some film stuff. Here's some print stuff. And here's the 3D modeling and for making video games. It's like all other stuff doesn't matter because I want to make 3D. I learned very quickly that I suck at making 3D. Like I was like, oh no, my passion is ruined. I'm never gonna do this. So like I learned quickly that I could push and probably learn and probably get better, but it was like a struggle. And I was like, I think I'm gonna have to put this dream aside. So where I did excel in was web. And I at the time, this is 2005, mid 2000s. I love the idea of I can make something for relatively with a relatively simple tool set. I just need a good computer, and I can put it out in the world, and anybody can go and look at it, and I can point to it, and I can say that's mine. So I really gravitated towards web, and over the years, that's evolved into UI, user interface, UX, user experience. And I would say in mid 20 teens, 2015, 2016, I saw a job posting at Blizzard, and it was a job description that was my exact role I was doing at a small agency in Florida. I was like, I can do this at a game company. It was in California, and I told my wife, I was like, hey, just a heads up, I applied for a job in California, and I was expecting backlash. Like, what? Why would you want to move to California? And she was like, well, what's it for? And then started asking questions. And she knows how passionate I'm about this hobby. She's like, you know what? If that's what you want to do, I say at least go ahead and try.
Wow.
So my wife
Awesome,
is super supportive. My wife is my rock, like my foundation. Like I legitimately would not be here without her like pushing me and encouraging me and challenging me. So I actually got to like the second final interview, didn't get the job, but it was a strong push to realize, hey, I can still be in this industry where my passion and hobbies lie. So, you know, I kept pushing and pushing, and I applied for many different different companies. There's only one game company in Florida. It's EA. I interviewed with them twice in several years, didn't get it. I interviewed at Bethesda. They actually flew me up there. I thought, well, that was really close to happening, and that didn't happen. And then I kind of like, after like a year and a half, was like, I don't know if this is going to work. So I think I'm going to just focus on what I'm good at. And I got a random email from Bandai Namco for a job I didn't even know about. And kind of wrap this up, like they wanted to interview me. The interviews went well. They wanted to fly me out. At that point, my wife's like, I think they want you. And I was like, don't get my hopes up. And yeah, that happened. And then the reality of like, oh my God, I'm moving across the country. I'm going to move across. I'm going to move away from family. I'm going to move away from friends. I'm going to move away from 30 plus years of knowing my environment and going somewhere completely new. And it was scary, but it was also exciting. And we pulled the trigger and said, let's do it. So I worked at Bandai for about a year and a half. It was fantastic. At the tail end, the last few months was when the pandemic started. And then I wasn't looking to leave, but you know, people will ask you like, how do you get in this industry? You know, what do you need to do? And I know, am I rambling too long? Like, should I cut it so you can ask?
No, man,
No,
you're
no, no.
totally
Keep
fine.
going, please. Please keep
Okay,
going.
all right. I don't, I find myself extremely boring, but like a lot of people tell me otherwise.
No, you are amazing. Please keep going.
So part of it is luck, if I'm being honest. Part of it is who you know, but a part of it is also just pushing and telling you and like really like telling yourself like, no, this is what you want. Don't give up. Because I almost did, and I don't know where I would be now if I did completely give up. So I happened to get reached out by someone that had worked with me prior, and they were at PlayStation, and they said, I think you'd be a good fit. And I was only like a year and a half into Bandai, and I felt so conflicted. I was like, this is the company that finally pulled me in. Like I tried for years to get in this business, and this company said yes. And I felt like I didn't give them my due. Like, is a year and a half enough? Like, I'm the kind of person that's like, I don't like hopscotch from jobs to like go up and up and up. Every job I had prior to Bandai, I'd worked at least 3 or 4 years long. So that's what I expected here. I actually expected to be there freaking a lifetime because, like, I'm in the game industry. I'm never going to leave this. Where else am I going to go? And then this opportunity came, and my wife, again, my rock, said, I know you feel conflicted, but you've told me, like, she asked me, like, all right, if you do work in the game industry, what are like the companies you want to work for? And you told me number one was PlayStation. So you should at least interview. So I was like, all right, let's just interview and let's see where it goes. And I did the interview. It was one of those. I don't know if anybody's interviewed for like super serious roles, but like it's not like going to like a grocery store and they interview you for like 30 minutes and an hour and then you're done. It's like no, like I was like grilled by like 6 people for like almost a day. And
Wow.
it's tiresome and cumbersome a bit. Like, and usually the last person is the one you got to impress the most. So I was like, by the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, I don't know how much more I can do. But it went so well that they told me the next day that they wanted me. And I was like,
Oh, that is so fucking
I was
cool.
like, oh no. Like, but oh my God, I was like so conflicted. It's like, oh my, like they want me. I can go work at PlayStation, but like, what do I could feel so bad for Bandai because I loved the job at Bandai. Like I didn't like I wasn't every job I left at a point was right, but it was because like, all right, I feel like I have hit my wall here and I can't grow any further. Or the company and my values don't align anymore and I need to find a new place. I was not anywhere remotely like that with Bandai. So it was conflicting, but eventually, like, I accepted it. And my colleagues, understood. There was no bitterness. I still keep in touch with a lot of them. And it was a great decision. Like I said, I'm going to be coming up on 4 years. It's great. If anybody is listening that is like wondering, like, I don't know. I can't give you like a step-by-step guide, but all I can say is like, if you have a passion for it and you push yourself, that will take you far enough. But part of it is a little bit of luck. Like I said, I had somebody reach out to me on a whim for Bandai, and then I had somebody at PlayStation reach out because I worked with them before. So like, yes, there was some luck. Yes, there was some. I knew I had somebody that knew me, but the person that knew me wouldn't recommend me if I didn't work hard and I wasn't passionate about what I did, right? So you got to work hard. I was doing design for 10 plus years before I, like when I went to school, I was like, I want to get into game design or I want to do something in video games. It took 10 plus years of working in my field before the reality before it became a reality. So some people, it will happen way quicker. Some people, it just takes a while.
That is an incredible story.
Now
About how it all came
I was
about.
about to say, this is like the coolest story I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's so good.
Well,
What I love about what he just said, Brett, like, it's the fact that, like, I'm the same way. Like, I don't like hopping to different jobs like that. But the fact that you had a goal and then you had your wife say, "Dude, what the fuck, try,"
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Okay, we'll do it." That is like I admire you right now. Like it makes me feel pumped to do what I would like to do as well. So I want to say thank you, and I think everybody in the audience would agree too.
Well, I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah.
Now I'm speechless. So
Well, here, I do want to because we're speaking about this, right? I have a few questions when it comes to your job. Is that okay?
I will do my best to answer. Obviously, there are probably topics that I can't discuss.
Right. No, I don't think we're going to talk about anything that you can't talk about. But if you can't, just let me
Sure.
know. So, what, okay, let's see. It says, how have your experiences at PlayStation Bandai Namco shaped your perspective on game design?
So let me preface. So it's 100% clear. I don't work on a game. I don't work in any of the studios. I work for the marketing department of PlayStation, which will probably to some people sound like, oh my God, that's like so boring. But I specialize in user interface design. I specialize in user experience. I was recently promoted to a senior product designer. Um, Thank
Congratulations.
you. I So my specific area is like if you go to PlayStation.com, you will most likely have engaged with pages on that site that have so when I say components, components are like Lego pieces for our authoring and content team to like build the web pages that promote our games and services and hardware. So like you might go to like the PS portal page, and there's a part on it that allows a user to look at a 3D rendering of the portal. So like you can mouse over it to see like close-ups of the piece of hardware. You can drag it to like spin it around and look at all sides. So I design those types of things, like not specifically like this one is using this picture of the portal and this one's using this picture of this game. It's more like here is a shell, and you as an author can put anything you want into it, and you can put it anywhere on the page, and it should work seamlessly. You should definitely have a designer review and approve things before they go live. But I designed the tool sets that they use to build the pages, and then I use insights from our analytics team to determine how well those components are working. Are users engaging with them? Are we and using data to hopefully either fix things or take things that are working and apply those to other areas of the site. So trying to rewind, your question was how has working at PlayStation and Bandai Namco affected my view on game design? I think from a game design perspective, designing a user experience in a game is quite different than designing a user experience for a website versus designing a user experience for the console UI itself. However, there are some underlying, common principles like ease of use, not being finding you making sure you're guiding the user to easily do the thing you want them to do. So um, I I feel like I have a great appreciation for great UI in games, especially now that I know how now because that's my job for doing it outside of games. You know how art is a subject. Art is very opinion based. Anybody has an opinion on art. Well, that
Right.
kind of goes the same for like your experience. Like you I'm not necessarily saying everybody can you be you a product designer, user experience designer, but everybody can tell somebody that they I don't like how this app works. I don't like that I have to do this and this to do this. So everybody, that is all like legitimate. That is all like real, and that is the type of stuff that I like to find and figure out how it can be fixed. Did I answer your question?
So cool because yeah, you did. And really, we don't, a lot of us don't know what many people at PlayStation do exactly, you know? So for you to split it up like that, it gives us perspective.
Sure. There is, when you get to a company the size of PlayStation, it's insane how many people there are. So just the website, there's a team, there's my team that focuses on the more marketing side. So you go to PlayStation.com's homepage, go to any of the game pages, you go to any of the hardware pages, or editorial, like best games to play during Halloween, that type of stuff. Like those are like the areas that our team works on. But like there's another team that handles the store side of things. There's another team that handles accounts. There's another team that handles blog, and that's just the website. So like I've mingled with many different people from different teams, and we all have the same passion. We all have the same desire to, like, make PlayStation the top brand as much as possible. And it's amazing that even and the teams are just like so diverse. Like I think I saw a question come in the initial blog, like, hey, can you walk us through like a day? And I work with a lot.
Yeah, can you?
I can do my best. As I'm talking, I'm also in my mind saying, don't say too much. Don't say too much. It's like, I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Um,
If we have to deviate to something different, let me know. Okay?
I mean, the it's sort of an uncool thing, but like I'm not like privy to like a bunch of like secret stuff. Like there's like certain people will know certain things because it's related to their projects. Like fortunately for me, like I don't have too many things that I know about that I can say. I mean, I see some cool shit, but like, and that I can't talk about, but it's not super frequent. But like a normal day, I work closely with a bunch of people that work in the States. I also work with a bunch of people that work in London. And because of that, there is a certain amount of daytime where you can only get like good productivity. And usually that's like for us in the States in the morning, because that's the tail end of the day in Europe, right? So usually my days are very meeting heavy in the morning, because that's the only time we can really like collab with the people that are about to like call their day, call into the day. But then after that, like I'm a producer, like, so like I'm not like a managerial role. I'm not like I have to make stuff. I have to make things for people to use. So aside from like the normal morning hecticness of like making sure we talk to the right people that we need to speak to, I will tend to spend a good portion of the tail end of the morning and the early afternoon just working on the different things that I work on for the website. At the tail end of the day, we have daily check-ins to be like, all right, so how's it going? Are there any blockers on anything? Are we do we need to ask anybody for anything the next day? Prepping for the next day type thing. So yeah, I'm not sure like how much more I can say without getting potentially.
That's cool though. I like that. Like, first of all, you say when you really just said like I have to make shit, and I'm like, yeah, that's baller.
And, so like I've worked I worked predominantly in design agencies when I was in Florida. Before that, I worked a couple years as an in-house designer for a company that focused on e-learning. So that was very much on Rails, and those types of companies are small. Like the biggest, like the last design agency I worked for only had like 18 people at its peak when I was there. I think it's a bit more now, but far contrast from PlayStation and the thousands and thousands of employees it's have. So like when you work for a team like that, like time management is way more crucial. Like you are logging hours, you are like, there are assigned hours on budgets for projects. Like, oh, we have a client, we signed them on for X package. So that means you only have X amount of time to work on something. Whereas with PlayStation or not just PlayStation specifically, but like bigger companies, this was also like the same thing in Bandai. It's like, I don't necessarily have to worry about my time. There are some teams that do, but our team fortunately doesn't. And it's more goal based. So like, it's not like, hey, you have X amount of time to get said project done. It's more like when this project is done, here's the goals we're trying to achieve, and here's the metrics we're going to need to know whether or not it was successful. So we have the free, as long as we're hitting milestones in terms of time, like, oh, like this project needs to be ready by X date for X reason. I can use almost as much, not as much time, but like I have way more flexibility when it comes to like thinking through solutions. So like when I'm making shit, as I said earlier, I don't like as an agent at an agency, the most likely what would happen is like I will make one thing and then get a little bit of feedback and maybe make a couple tweaks. Whereas here it's like, for this one thing, I'm going to make 10 things. And then I'm going to like go through with my teammates, and we're going to go through them all and talk through them all. We might make 10 more things based off feedback on that. And eventually we'll come up with the solution we think is the best. And sometimes it's that first thing we made, and sometimes it's that thing that took like 8 iterations. And then, so like that's like a really cool thing about working in a company like this. It's like, I'm not stressing about my time as I suppose, like, unless it's something that's time sensitive. So like there's one project I can talk about because it is public, is the end of year wrap up. I'm one of the 2 designers that works on that. So if you've gone to
that's awesome.
If you've gone to the PlayStation wrap up in the past 2 years specifically, I've had a heavy hand in influencing its aesthetic and the user flow. So the same thing is happening this year. I'm super excited with the stuff that we have that we're going to do with it. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to get in trouble, but other than if you've enjoyed the experiences in the past couple of years, I think you're going to enjoy this one coming up too.
Dude, that's so fucking cool. Right, Jack?
I'm looking forward to that now.
Right, me too. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, Brett. The stuff. All right, dude.
I don't have a lot of stuff.
We have so many other questions.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We have so many questions, but I want to get to the ones that are from the audience. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So far, dude, so interesting, and I admire you a lot. And let's go with Jenny and Barry. They kind of asked the same question in a way. Is the daily trophy grind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jenny asked, do you take BP while you trophy hunt, or is it like separate at this point?
So I try to have at least one VP post a day. And the trophy grind was something that just kind of came out of thin air on New Year's Day this year. Like, we were on vacation and I was remote playing. I didn't have a portal yet. I was remote playing on my Mac, and I got a trophy on New Year's Day. And I was like, you know what? And it was just like literally a spur of the moment idea that I told myself, this is probably the stupidest thing I should do, is try to force something upon myself that I shouldn't be like adding to my normal grind. It's like, so I posted, I'm going to do a trophy a day and let's just see how it goes, you know? And my thought was like, I'm going to do this and it's going to last a week at the most. And it has become a little bit of a chore, but I do enjoy it. So like balancing that and VP, I will say that VP has taken a little bit of a hit because of that. And I've had multiple times this year where I had a little bit of a slump and it's like, all right, well, I think I'm going to just have to repost some stuff now at this point. So in my mind, I was actually thinking about posting this out as a poll or just a Twitter question, was like, how old does a post have, how old does a picture have to be before you feel like you can repost it? Is it a year? Is it 2 years?
No, about a month.
A month. Oh wow.
Yeah, a month. Yeah, I do it all the time.
Okay. Because like I feel like like I know that I posted this already, and in my mind I'm like most people aren't going to remember this. Sometimes there's those like I think a lot of VPers. I think some VPers have like some iconic shots, and it's like if they repost, oh my god, I remember when you posted that thing. So I I think like I don't know, like if this maybe this is me and nobody else, but like I have this shot of a tall neck that is from underwater, and that's like one of my favorite shots ever, and I think it was like one of the first like posts that got like a really good amount of likes, and I was like, okay, people like this shot. Like I knew this was a good shot. I thought this was a good shot when I took it. So um I'm so off topic. Like the question was like, how does VP and have been and trophy grinding? Like so, okay, yeah. VP has taken a hit. So I've had a few times this year where I had to like repost some stuff, and it's mostly Horizon stuff because like Horizon is like the game I've probably taken the most VP in. If I could look at like my most played game of all time on a PlayStation console, it would probably be in the top 3 because I've spent so much time just wandering the world and taking pictures in that game. So the trophy grind has definitely affected it. What also affects it is is because I don't play games that are just games with photo modes. So if I'm playing, and I used to be like a one game at a time person. It's like I'm only going to play this game, and I'm not going to play anything else until I beat it, and then I 100% it and I get that platinum. And I eventually got a little bit like tired of that because it's like, oh, there's so many other games I want to play. So like now, I tend to play 2 games, maybe 3 at a time. And I definitely won't play 2 games of the same genre. Like I'm not going to attempt to play 2 RPGs at the same time. I'm not going to play 2 Soulborns at the same time, just because going back and forth control schemes is probably too confusing. Plus, I like the to break it up. So it's like usually there's like one big game. So like I just finished Spider-Man 2, but then I also play a bunch of smaller games. Like I'm playing Plucky Squire now, or so it's like, all right, I got a big game and a little game. Which one do I feel like playing? Which one do I feel like I have like time sensitivity for? Like I also like I don't know if people like I'm playing Power Wash Simulator, and that is like I only have enough time for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I can easily go into I can go into the level I'm at, and I can clean some shit for a little bit and then save, and then I'm done. So yeah,
That seems like a bit of a palate cleanser, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like to do like this one and that one.
For sure. So VP's taking a little bit of hit. Thankfully, I have a nice little stockpile of Spider-Man photos that I've got, because I don't know what the next game I'm going to play is that's going to be, like, new game that's going to have VP. Like, I thought I was going to play Space Marine 2 when it came out, but I just have so many things that were already on my console and on my list. And, like, I'm also trying not to buy too many games. And I have Plus, so I have a wide range of games that I have access to. There are games.
You have the damn library.
Yeah, exactly. There are games that are on Plus that have good photo modes that I haven't gotten to yet. Horizon has been on my machine ever since it launched. It is like the one game that has like stayed consistently there. So like it, but I think I will admit, like, I'm getting a little bit of a fatigue on it. Like I know there's plenty of things I could take pictures in there, but I haven't felt the want. I think the last time was and God, I'm forgetting who did the Horizon ABCs of Horizon challenge like a couple months ago. Do either of you remember? Like I follow them, and I can't remember their name. If somebody in the chat maybe hopefully remembers, because I want to give them a shout out, because like that inspired me. Like I did that challenge every day, and I think in that entire challenge it was a month. It was 26 days straight. So it's like day 1, a picture of something with A. Day 2, a picture of something that starts with B. And aside from maybe like 3 days where I reposted some older photos, I took new shots, and I was like, oh, this got my juices flowing to come back in here. So I need something to kind of kickstart, because like I don't want to delete Horizon. I think it's probably like the game that I
Larissa,
enjoy
Damon
taking
said.
photos in the most. What was that, Jack?
What was that, dude?
Larissa? That's what Damon said. Larissa, if I remember.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, all right. Like sidebarring question here. Like, is there like I have the Ask the VP thing open, but I don't see like a chat window, so I don't know if people like if I'm or is nobody commenting? Am I that boring, or is there like a chat like invisible?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, people are commenting,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Okay, where do I see this? Like, oh, wait, there's a little
Okay.
thing that says. Okay, there
Yeah.
are people.
Now sometimes it asks you to like kind of refresh, and I never know if that's gonna take me out or not.
Okay, all right.
I
You know
get
what?
a little bit
I
paranoid.
was
But
probably
yes,
mistake
there's
to open
people there.
this because I'm gonna get distracted by it, so I'm gonna leave it closed.
Brett, what I wanted to say about you, what I've noticed is it's like you're born to level up just because of the challenges that you like to do. Like it's like in you to do that. And I find that pretty awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. Real life trophies, right?
It really is, whether it's virtual or in
hmm
life, that's what's happening to you. And well, I know like we barely know each other, but I'm proud of you, dude.
Thank you. Uh,
Yes,
I
sir.
will say, so like way back at the beginning of this, I kind of talked about like I wanted to like get more social, make friends. The VP community and the trophy community, like the people that are in my circles that I engage with, not every day, but like for like at least weekly, like are insanely talented and insanely generous, insanely kind. I feel like there's very little friction. If there is, I think I've rooted out the few, but like everybody's so supportive of each other. Everybody's inspiring. Like I'll look at shots from anybody. It doesn't matter if you have 50 followers or 5,000 followers. Like everybody has an eye for everybody's got an eye for talent, and it's just inspiring to see the stuff that everybody comes up with. And that's also like probably been a big driving factor. So like even though I haven't been doing nearly as much VP as I think I should be or could be doing, seeing posts on a daily basis is what also helps encourage me to keep going.
Hey man, we got some more questions in the comments. Jack, do you see them?
2 seconds, sorry.
Yeah, dude, you're getting some questions here.
Cool.
Somewhere.
Also, Mullen says it was
Paulina hates
Paulina. Yeah.
All right. I knew if I heard the name, I would remember. Yeah, Paulina.
Damon's out here tricking us.
He's a tricker. No, I'm joking, Damon. You're awesome.
I hope I honestly, even if it's Horizon again, I think I don't want to do it like next month, but like I would like, if it came back as like a yearly thing, or like I would do that again. The ABCs.
Did you ever take part in Gamergram's 30-day theme challenge?
I did.
Yeah,
I don't know if I did every day, and I want to say I did it last year. I think I think one or two of my photos did get like selected for their. How do they like it's basically everybody's submitting and then they like post like 4 shots or something.
Highlights. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I was like super stoked that I got highlighted like on one. I think it was I'm remembering it's not. Yeah, I had a shot of Aloy on riding like a fire claw strider. Yeah, that one got shared. So I was like, oh boy, that's cool. Whenever anybody like highlights my stuff, like, cause I like going back to like we haven't really dived in this topic yet. And it's not a topic I'm not like, I'm not sure I'm going to have enough confidence to like really like elaborate on, but it's like, I don't have any photography experience. I am a photography noob. I do not have a camera. I don't take photos in real life, but I sure as shit love taking pictures of video games because the subject material is so cool. And like I learned a lot. I like when before like if it's like, oh, I can move the camera here and I can tilt it like 2 degrees. Oh, that's cool. And then I learned I'm learning about depth of field. I'm learning about taking action shots. I'm lighting, like, because I just recently, oh my god, that photo mode in Spider-Man is just insanely like
So good, isn't it?
Morning. My son's walking in saying good morning.
Morning.
His morning starts 3 hours later than mine.
Dude, I bet he is so proud of you too.
I don't know, maybe. He's got friends
I
that
know he probably is.
like he'll say like, "Oh yeah, my dad works at PlayStation." So like every now and then I'll hear a little nugget, and I'm like, "Oh, that makes me feel good," you know.
Yeah, we all like them nuggets. Here, there's some questions here in the comments, and I think we should start with Miss Turd. What's your favorite and least favorite VP style?
You started out in the last word. Favorite VP what?
What's your favorite and least favorite VP style?
VP style. Okay. Are we talking like, oh, I like taking portraits, I like taking environment type shots? Is that kind of like the
Yeah.
okay? I used to hate action shots because it felt like I didn't know what to look for. I wouldn't say that's like my least favorite anymore. I feel like when I go to my horizon shots, like I think some of my favorite shots are when I get like a really cool shot of like a machine or Aloy interacting with something. So I don't know if those personify as like portrait, but like or action, but just like there's a central focus. Like environments are also like really something I like taking a lot too. Like I don't know, like I feel like environments kind of like are like easier because they in themselves are already beautiful. So you just find the right angle, find the right composition, and most of the time you get like really stunning shots. So wide gambit there. I appreciate abstract, but I probably really suck at it. I don't think I've ever posted more than maybe one or two kind of like abstract shots. So I think I took a picture of Gaia's like particle effects in like a macro shot once, and I was like, that's close enough. I'm good. That does it.
It's so difficult, isn't it?
That's
Abstract.
cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's an eye for that. That in itself is a whole like there's a talent to that. Because like people will find or make the most random creative things and it's like how do they even get that? How do they even think to look for that? So yeah, it's like I appreciate it, but like for trying to take it, it is probably like my least because it is an extremely difficult, taunting thing to try.
I think abstract was one of the ones I attempted at first, but I'm like, I think I have to come back when I have an eye of things.
Yeah.
Because you think it's just random, but and I guess some of it is, but there's purpose to it, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you could make some magic, but I think just at first I'm like, I don't think this is mine yet. So the second question she asked is, what's your favorite photo mode feature and which one do you never use?
Okay. Well, I can tell you straight up, I never use frames or stickers.
Does
And I feel like
anyone?
I never see that from anybody else. So I feel like it's a like-minded thing. Like it's cool. Like I remember the first time opening up the Spider-Man one, I was like, oh, I can have it look like he's taking a selfie or it's in a comic book frame. And I'm like, and then I never open it again. And then Horizon, I think there's some like cool, like grunge, like tribalist type frames. I just don't want that stuff in my photography. So I feel like it's a thing that I never touch. I like anytime I open up a new photo mode, I try to like dive in and see, all right, what's here? What's the tool set I have to work with? I don't use filters very often in the photo modes because I will use something like Lightroom afterwards. And I feel like it is way easier to use something like that than using a controller to go through like different filter menu options because they're all not the same. And I know that I'm probably like an outlier on this because like I've seen people share like their photo mode processes and then like it's like a time lapse of like a minute and then like 20 seconds of that is like them doing filter effects. And I'm like, it's really cool that you can do that in the game. I just find it a bit tedious in terms of like the user experience. So like I don't use those. In terms of favorite things, I don't know if a camera can't be freely moved and a camera can't be turned 90 degrees, I'm like incentivized to not even use the photo mode. I post predominantly vertical shots. I view most of my VP on my phone. I think more people are on their phone for social. So I like the tall shots because even you can click open the image and it takes up the full screen. I think you just get more shot because when your shots are wide, you're looking at a wide shot on a vertical screen. So it's already pretty small. And if you click it open, you're going to be zooming in and not seeing the whole shot. So like the free range of a camera is a must. It's my, so like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Oh my God. Oh my, I want to cry because Final Fantasy VII is my first Final Fantasy. That's technically a lie. I played Final Fantasy Mythic Quest on Super Nintendo, but I don't like talking about that game. Final Fantasy VII like was like my game changer. Like that's what got me into RPGs. So when the remake was like when the remake came out eventually, like I wasn't into photo mode. I wasn't into virtual photography when remake came out. But by the time Rebirth came out, I was like, I'm so stoked. I'm gonna take so many Tifa shots. I'm gonna have Tifa all over my timeline. And I think I've taken one shot in that photo mode because it is atrocious how limiting it is. And it saddens me because I haven't beaten it yet. Like I got to go back to that game. That game is immense. That game is long. That game has too many mini games that are forced upon you. And I think where I left off was I'm on a chapter where I have to play like 8 mini games in a row. And I'm like, this is not what I want to do. Like when it's time to trophy grind,
Right.
I will come back to you because I know that there's like trophies for like getting like the best scores or like or whatnot. But like I want to progress the story. I want to get further. So like that and the photo mode like kind of like soured my experience a little bit. Like I think the game is great and I will go back to it, but like I got so sidebarred by that stuff that I think whatever the new hotness that came out after it distracted me and I haven't gone back to it. So camera, and then camera's like the big thing outside of camera, which I don't know if you would want to. I don't know if that'd be counted as a feature because like every photo mode is a camera. I love posing. I like making Aloy look like she's screaming as she's being chased by a Thunderjaw, or giving that murder, because she knows she's hot stuff. The Spider-Man 2 stuff is awesome. Like I haven't seen a photo mode give you the flexibility it has of not only turning. This is like a first world problem. Like I want to rotate my character and move him without enabling posing. But if I enable pose, then I'm going to lose the pose he's currently doing. Like I have the perfect angle of a swing, but I just need him to turn a little bit. And you've given me the ability to turn the character, but not unless I enable the posing. And when I do that, boom, it's back. You have to choose from one of these 20 presets, which is awesome. But it's like, why can't I just pose the one that you gave me? Oh, the one that I paused on. So like, I understand there's like limitation, and they've like gone above and beyond to support virtual photographers with their photo mode. Like there's so many features in that photo mode that are not in any other game. And, but like posing, it was like super cool. Like, I've been a little dissuaded with posting my Spider-Man shots because they don't seem to be doing super well. But I'm assuming that's just Twitter in a nutshell at the moment and the algorithm. But like whenever I post the Horizon shot, like Horizon VP comes out and really supports it. Like, it's like I could probably post a Aloy shot on Monday and it'll do twice as well as a Spider-Man shot.
It's crazy because they've both
to
got
so many people.
yeah, they've both got huge fandoms,
Yeah.
haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how probably Twitter being Twitter.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And I can learn.
Yeah, I really think so.
I like to think my Horizon shots are pretty good. I do think like my Spider-Man shots are a little lacking. Like I like there are some really, really, really talented virtual photographers doing some really amazing stuff with Spider-Man, and it's intimidating. Like I almost wasn't sure I wanted to even post, but it's like, no, I'm playing a game. I like the shot. I think it looks good. If only 20 other people like it, no big deal. It's on my timeline. I can go. I don't know about you guys, but like, I go look at my timeline a lot. I like to look at my stuff because like I feel happy that this is something that I played. This is something that I experienced. This is something that I enjoyed. And I want to remember that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Same thing.
Good to reflect on how far you've come as well. Like if you scroll during months down and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
What's changed and what you've improved on. It's quite nice to have a scroll over now and then. Instagram's a bit easier to do so.
For sure. Yeah.
2020 and then 2024 is very different. Set of pictures and conversations is actually super interesting to go back to, I think. Let's see. Okay, so now this is such a serious question, I think. There's two, okay? One is from Damon, and he asked you, what's your favorite food?
I mean, it's the most serious of questions, right?
It is.
I mean, we must eat or we die, right? But
for sure,
if we have to,
for sure,
we should eat what we like. Okay. I love noodles so much. Like I will consume, like if a menu has at a restaurant some sort of noodle dish, I'm most likely going to gravitate towards it. So ramen, pho, lo mein, spaghetti. There's just give me noodles, give me pasta. This is what makes me happy. It also
the noodle man.
So that you know, like obviously carbs. Oh God. But all right. So like I love noodle dishes. There is a restaurant in Florida that I miss so much. It's called Bento Cafe. It's like a Japanese little cafe, and they have. They used to call it a kung pao bowl. They used to call it a spicy cream bowl. Now it's like it's got some funny fancy name like kung pao pao or pow pow chicken or something. But it's like thick udon noodles with like sweet and sour style chicken. You know, it's the battered chicken that usually gets sauced, and it's got a spicy, creamy sauce. It's not like sweet and sour sauce. It's like a cream-based sauce, but it's colored. It's got chipotles in it, and oh my God, it's like my favorite dish ever. Like, and it's such a simple thing. But I have not found anybody anywhere else that makes this fucking dish. So it's like I miss it so much. And whenever I go back to Florida and I'm visiting family, and unfortunately, my wife and son do not like this place nearly as much as I do. So it is like we will go there once because you like it, but then we have all these other places that we miss we want to go to. And like, fair enough, as long as we go once. So like, it is like every time I go to visit Florida, it's like, all right, that's like bucket list item number one for me. It might not be the first thing we do, but it's like, it's going to happen because I love that dish so much.
Oh man. I just had noodles yesterday and I thought about you because I think you sent it to me, like your questions, and I'm like, I bet you he'd like these noodles too. It's like it's just from this sushi shop here.
We had a friend like introduced us to a place. It's called Highland Noodle. It's like, okay, They must have noodles. It's like almost the entire menu is noodles, and there's so many different varieties and types. And it's like I want to keep going back here. Again, I'm the noodle guy. My wife likes rice. So it's like we're not gonna go to the noodle place again. I was like, okay, fine. It's just all right. You get what you want. I get the next one. All right.
I think. Oh yeah. Okay. Turd est, cupcakes or donuts.
I wish I could insert a GIF. Like, why not both?
¿Por qué no los dos?
I would say donuts because they're easier to come by. Like, I feel like cupcakes require you to make them, or you're gonna go to like a Walmart or something and buy them from there. Whereas donuts, like, there's donut shops all over the place. And plus donuts,
I don't like the icing too. Cupcakes.
Like a fresh, warm Krispy Kreme is pretty good.
Oh yeah. Do y'all have Krispy Kreme out there, Jack?
Yeah, we don't have dedicated shops though. We have like little stalls. It's really
gotcha.
not great.
So you guys don't get it like fresh out? Like you don't see them making it?
No, I've never seen them make it. Maybe in London.
Oh man.
Where are you from, Jack?
I don't know if it's been a while since I've been.
Actually,
What was that, Brett?
Where are you two from? I have no idea where either of you guys are located. Unless it's a secret.
Jack?
I'm in England, on the south coast.
Cool.
I'm from Texas. Oh.
Texas. Yeah, I don't believe I've seen a Krispy Kreme store in Florida. They probably are there, but like I feel like I don't remember one. But like here in California, there are quite a few of them, and there's one not far. And it's like, yeah, like it's like a store, like a restaurant. Like go in and order, and you can order, and they hand it to you. And when they are fresh off the press and they are warm, it elevates the donut.
Yeah, that is great. I was
dude.
Little packets that you buy, like a pack of 4.
Yeah,
that you take off the shelf. Yeah, that's ours.
You could,
fresh ones.
You could probably toss it in the microwave. Like, although I've heard that microwaves are like frowned upon over there. Is you boil and you bake stuff, right? As opposed to like nuke things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I have a microwave. I probably have so much radiation.
Well, I'm thinking of like the tea thing. Like y'all have kettles that properly boil stuff. Over here, we're just microwaving water.
Oh, that is crazy.
Oh, they would. It's sickening. It is. It's not right. And you shouldn't have said that, Britt. No, they're gonna shit on us.
So, have either of you watched Ted Lasso?
No, I haven't.
Okay, all right. Well, the premise is, I'll try to keep this short. The premise is like he's like a U.S. based football coach, and he gets assigned to coach a soccer team, proper football over in England, and he's entered, and he hates tea. Like so, like he'll take a sip and he spits out. He's like, "Yep, that just tastes like brown water." That is me. I don't like hot tea. I like iced sweet tea. So, but that's just because I'm from Florida, the southern, like that's their tea style. So,
if they drink the tea that we drink, dude, they'll all get diabetes.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. A couple more questions in the comments. Jack, do you see that for me?
I do. I have one from Marco. I have 2 from Marco. So, do you have any other goals you want to achieve in your career? Hello? Oh, Brett's connecting.
I think he might have got kicked out.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll come back.
Sing the people a song.
But while we wait, I think this has been awesome so far.
Oh.
There you go.
That was a mistake. I'm not going to do that again. What was the question?
Do you have any other goals you want to you want to achieve in your career?
That is a very good question, and that is something that I have. Who asked this again?
Marco 01 VP.
Marco. Okay. Thank you for the question, Marco. Yeah, like this is an extremely good question because I feel like I've never really thought about what would happen if I ever hit the goals of like A, working in the industry, and B, like working at a place like PlayStation. So I am super happy at PlayStation. I feel like I could work here the rest of my life because I'm so happy with it. I would say from a goal perspective, I've always tended to be more of a follower. So usually there's a creative director or a manager and goals are outlined and I need somebody to just tell me, all right, what do you want? What do you need me to do? What do you need me to make? And I've been that way pretty much my whole design career. I've always like leveled up to like senior positions, but not like design decision level or managerial level. I think that is realistically probably like the best path forward. But the thing is, like, when it comes to any job or any career, the higher you go, the less like actual producing you do, right? Before I was a designer, I was a cook, and I worked in the kitchen for 7 years before I said this isn't what I want to do. But like as a cook at the lowest level line, you are on the you're making the pancakes, you're flipping the burgers, you're doing all the manual labor, you're doing all the prep. And as you get up higher and higher, you get like better positions. Oh, I'm going to start doing, like, you work at better restaurants, but then eventually like you will like start to be more managerial and you're cooking less. And some people like that, but some people don't. Like, I like to design. I like to make stuff. I like to create things. And I don't think that is going to ever change. And if I were to progress much further from like a role perspective, I would probably be doing that less. And I'm not sure that's what I want to do. I do think, though, it is probably beneficial for my skill set and my career path to become more of a creative director type role where I am much less hands-on. I'm more of a guiding light and educate and taking the talents that I've learned and hopefully passing them on to lower level designers. So that is something that I've thought about. I said earlier I was recently promoted to a senior product designer. So like I'm not sure what my next step at PlayStation would be. And I haven't really thought about it so much. So I do think that there's probably a cap, at least to the team that I work on. And if I want to like pursue like the next thing, it potentially does mean like finding another team or another job. But at the moment, I'm super happy. Like this is the first this is the first job where I've worked here for like years, and I'm still like just as happy as the first year. So I'm content, but like that doesn't mean I should sit idle because things are always changing, and you have to be able to adapt in order to continue to grow.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Bianca's having a bit of an issue with.
Is she a
Yeah, I
refresher?
think I'm cool
Oh,
now.
you're back. You're back. Nice.
Yeah, no, I think it must have been like an internet stutter. Love those. Anyway, did hear you. I get it, dude. You're at the point of where you want to be, and it's kind of crazy to think what else is there, right?
Sure. I mean, if my goal is to be in video games, like it doesn't get a whole lot bigger than PlayStation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there are like companies that make way more money. Like, I don't know this for a fact, but it's like a company like Rockstar, like just puts GTA one game out of one game out, 2 generations. Like GTA 5 came out during like the PS3 era, right? And we're on PS5, and they haven't. Well, they've done Red Dead, so like never mind. Oh, that's a game I got to get to eventually at some point and then do some VPN.
Oh, you haven't?
But like, I'm a little daunted because it's such a big game, but it is.
Dude, that
Red
is a
Dead,
game.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's amazing. Yeah.
But
Rockstar.
yeah,
I
That's
like,
think you're gonna be
so
lost
I
in it.
read. I read not too long ago. I think Rockstar has more employees than PlayStation, and they're only working on one game at a time.
mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
so the
it's pretty
PlayStation,
crazy.
all the PlayStation studios like Santa Monica and Insomniac and stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It blew my mind. That did.
I mean, PlayStation makes a ton of money, but they're Fortnite, Epic.
Yeah.
Like there are other people in this field that have found their own path to success and have become trendsetters in certain things like live services, and it's something that other companies want to try to see if they can replicate too, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if something works, other people are going to try it, aren't they? See
Yeah.
if they can produce the same result. We have another question from Peter Pip in the comments. Hello, Brett. What games are you looking forward to, and what games do you wish had a photo mode? And in brackets, he said, "Please say Hollow Knight."
So I've actually played Hollow Knight. I have it on the Switch, and I've probably gone through at least half the game, maybe 2/3, but I love that game so much that I do think I want to attempt to try and go for the plat. Like I think I posted recently. I'm getting close to platinum number 150, and it's like, so I like my milestones to be something hard. So that was an option. It did not get nearly as many votes. I think I put Sekiro, Hollow Knight, and Cuphead, and I think Sekiro won. And I'm not like obviously I threw the question out there, but like just because the majority said Sekiro doesn't mean I'm gonna play Sekiro. But it's like I feel a little validated in maybe picking it now because so many people think it should be what I play. Hollow Knight is definitely something I want to get to, especially. I forget who I was joking with. I think Kate. If I just say Kate, you guys know who I'm talking about? From VP. I don't. What's her handle? I don't know her handle. She posts a ton, and I think we were joking one day about Silksong not coming out.
I feel like I know a few of them.
Yeah, and I said, "Oh, they're waiting for me to platinum. They're waiting for me to play Hollow Knight."
Is it?
So she's like, "Well, hurry up and do it." So, let me see. I have.
Is it Gaming
Kate Tana.
Ah, yes, that's who I had in mind.
Yeah. At least I'm pretty sure it was her. So, yeah, I was like, they're waiting for me to platinum Hollow Knight before they release Silksong. She was like, well, hurry up and do it.
Is it Kate or as in Katana?
Yeah, Katana. All right. So what else am I looking forward to? Well, I mean, Astrobot was the big thing, and I'm super happy with that. Plucky Squire was next, and I'm currently playing that. I'm a little past halfway on playing that. I'm super looking forward to Echoes of Wisdom, the Zelda game where you play as Zelda, finally. I know that there are more games, but I'm blanking. But those were like the three. It was like all three of these are coming out in September, so close together. I've already got the Platinum Astro and Plucky Squire out, probably Platinum, if not tomorrow, sometime this week. It's not super long. I have a trip coming up later in the year. I'm going to save Zelda for that, so I can do that while I'm out and about. Other than that, I have Stellar Blade parked on my console because they promised a photo mode, and I'm like, I'm not playing this until the photo mode is added. And it said summer, and we're about to end September, so I'm like, what the hell, guys? Where is it at? He said summer, so I'm looking forward to that one. When like, I should not let that influence me, but like, I'm being kind of childish with it. Games
I'm the
that don't
same.
sorry, go ahead, Jack.
I'm the same. I did the exact same thing with Alan Wake. Waited until that had a photo mode before I played that.
Yeah. Games that I played that didn't have photo modes that should have photo modes. The top one that comes to my mind is Dead Space. I loved that game so much when it first came out. I was so excited that the remake was coming. And that game is absolutely like begging for a photo mode. Like, I cannot believe it doesn't have one. I did my best. Like, I would do the shimmy against the wall, tilt that camera behind your character so he's hidden, just get the right angle so that I can take a sliver of this screen, so there's no HUD or UI on it, to get some of these environments, because they're just so good looking. And I know, like, I think virtual photography as an industry, or not as an industry, virtual photography as a hobby has like really like grown in strides, at least from the limited time. I've only been doing it a couple of years. There's a lot of people in this chat that have been doing it a lot longer than me, and they're really, really good, and they're great inspiration. So like, I think that, seeing developers talk about it, I think that somebody posted recently, there's actually like a advert on the console, on the PS5 console now, like games with photo modes, and I was like, that's great.
Oh, wow.
You see, yeah, like, I need to go look at it, but it's like there's like a promotion, like it's like somewhere in like the Explore tab, and there's like generalized promotions, like, and then one of them was like photo games with photo mode. So I should take a peek and see if there's anything that that's not on top of mine. Other than Dead Space, what did I play? I'm gonna go look at my my PSN profile really quick. What did I play that had a photo mode? Like, I'm happy Astrobot had a photo mode. It is very limiting though, but I think it is better than that atrocious Final Fantasy VII one. I played Steel Rising.
Someone said Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2. I haven't played that. The game looks very pretty.
It's so gorgeous, dude.
Got into Souls likes in the same span of the past couple of years. So like Bloodborne type and Souls. I played Steel Rising earlier this year. I have issues with its trophies, but I think the game was fun to play. I think the game looked great. I would have loved taking photos in there. What else have I played recently? I wish Helldivers 2 had a photo mode. I know it wouldn't make sense for the type of game it is, but there was very pretty environments in that. There's a small AAA game called Evil West that I highly recommend. It's very fun to play. It's not the prettiest, but I enjoyed it a lot, and I wish it had a photo mode. Yeah, but every game should have a photo mode, in my opinion, even if it's like a 2D side scroller. I think the first year I started taking photos, I played this one game called Fist, and it's a 2D Metroidvania where you control a rabbit that has this like robotic arm, and it was such a cool game, and the aesthetic was super cool. And I did the same thing I did with Dead Space. It was like, I found really cool environment shots and environments, and I would move my character in a position where they would be out of view, and then I would kind of like cut a sliver out. So I'd get that vertical shot that I tend to like to show, and it'd be like some of the backgrounds. And that's probably, when you don't have a photo mode and you're on like a 2D game like that, that is, I guess, less virtual photography, because you're not really doing anything other than taking a pause screen. But nobody else was doing it. I was like, I really thought it was cool, so I'm gonna share this stuff. And I even had the dev like a couple of comments, and they're like, oh, thanks. Oh, nice. I love it when developers acknowledge us when we post.
That's the best feeling, for sure.
Take a drink of water.
That's all right. I think we lost Bianca again.
Oh, she got to get out of Texas. The internet sucks over there.
Yeah, it really does.
I tell you what, the internet isn't that bad in Florida, but it's way better over here in California. Well, I maybe not all of California. I'm in the Bay Area, so like I'm like an hour out San Francisco, and we have great internet over here. So I was just saying, you got to get out of Texas. Your internet is terrible over there.
Well, as you see, I have to get out of the area which I'm in. I was supposed to go to a different location, but I couldn't at this time. However, my phone got upgraded, and I feel like it's been good for a little bit. But I think it's because someone's using the streaming services like Netflix on the other side. So I think that's what it is.
Or Sharon.
But yeah.
Cut the
So, but
wires.
I know I should stop it. I wanted to ask if anybody wants to join and ask him any questions.
Send a
And
request.
I was here last week when you had Barry, and I can see he's in there. I really, really wanted to hop in and ask a question, but I understand from their point of view. It's like, I'm not the one being interviewed. I don't want anybody to hear like you're shy, but it's like, if I can do it, you guys can come in, and we're all VP buddies. We're all chilling. We're all just chatting. I'm not
all of us here is a vibe. We all need each other.
Barry. I don't want Barry to feel like he has to come in here, but like I'm just like remembering what happened last week.
Oh, I think you pressured him to join.
No. I'm pressuring everybody.
Hello.
Everybody. You all are pressured.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Hey, sorry if the audio is bad. I don't have my headset hooked up. I wasn't planning on joining, but then Brett dropped my name and I felt obligated. So here I am, Brett. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Nice to chat with you, man.
Yeah, you too. We've been talking a lot online. I've been following you for a while now.
Likewise.
I just wanted to say, man, did you ever finish Final Fantasy Remake? I missed that part if you mentioned it in the interview. I'm kind of multitasking over here.
I finished Remake, but I haven't finished Rebirth.
Rebirth. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Yeah, because I think we were both in the same boat on that. We got like really far and then just got like, it's just taking too long. Other games came out. So like,
and the platinum requires a second playthrough on a harder difficulty. So like, I don't even know if I'm going to attempt the platinum, but I do want to at least beat it because like I love 7. So I was talking to a friend at work and I said I love 7 so much, but I think every time I replayed 7, I would just get to the point where you leave Midgar, and that's when it would fall off. And the first game is that. So like now it's like, all right, I'm back to uncharted territory because I don't remember a lot of stuff that happens after the Midgar stuff. And like I know you said you didn't. I don't know how much you heard, but it's like I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, I got to play a bunch of mini games. I don't really want to do that. I want to go explore the world. I want to go fight. I want to progress the story. So like the thought of doing it back up has been powered a little bit. So, but I do plan on going back. I want to finish it. I have no idea where it ends. I think I have an idea where it ends. I luckily have not been spoiled. But again, I've beaten the first game. The only thing that I could be potentially spoiled on is if they are going to do anything different. And I'm not. So, like, I want to see what happens. But I got plenty of time. That third game ain't coming out anytime soon. The third part's not coming out. I even talked about, like, maybe we'll port it over to Unreal Engine 5. And it's like, why? It's going to make your development longer. Just finish it now. But yeah, I will eventually.
Yeah, cool deal. Yeah, thanks for repeating that. I'm sorry for everybody else who probably had to listen through it. But yeah, I'm again same boat with you, man. Same feelings on the game, and Remake was amazing, and the story was changing in an interesting way. And I got so hyped for Rebirth, and then like I'm at Gold Saucer now, just like in minigame death. So I just was like, I'm gonna stop this. Alan Wake 2 came out, and that's all I do now. So, well, keep it up, Brett, man. It's been nice getting to know you, and I think the interview was awesome. You know, you have an
Oh, thanks.
interesting life, and sounds like a wonderful family. So that's great, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Best to you.
My wife walked in here at some point and took pictures of me.
Aw.
You have to post them.
Yep. I was just gonna say that. Yep.
I'm looking at my setup. Like, I'm in my normal office space, and I think this is probably PG enough. Yeah.
Well, okay. How about this? Well, first of all, can everybody still hear me? Right.
Yes, for now.
All right. I have to say that. Let's do one last question because I think it's a good one. It's from Damon. And I guess I lost it because I don't see it, so give me 1 second. Okay, I have it right here. So he said, what's one piece of advice that you would recommend a virtual photographers old and new?
What's one piece of advice that, can you repeat the question?
Sure. What is one piece of advice that you would recommend to virtual photographers old and new?
Old and new. Okay. The whole spectrum, the whole gamut, somebody who's been doing it for a long time and somebody who's fresh. I would say don't do it unless it's something you enjoy. I mean, there are a lot, there are not that many people, but like I've seen a handful of people that are like, oh, my numbers are down. And like I felt that way too, but at the end of the day, I'm enjoying myself and I enjoy it and I want to share it. And the people that are going to see it and acknowledge it are also the people that have the same passion. Push yourself to do things outside your comfort zone. It'll only make you a better VP, a better virtual photographer. I think I should try to attempt to like do some more like actual live photography things because I think that would obviously maybe help me with some of the things I'm doing on the virtual side. But I pushed myself late last year to try and do more action shots. I did a lot. I played Lords of the Fallen, and I tried my best to like take advantage of all the boss fights, take good shots. And I think I got some good stuff in there. I should try and maybe like the question about what's your least favorite? It's like abstract. I was like, I should at least push myself to like, not like do nothing but abstract, but like, attempt to do it. I think it help. You'll find things that you weren't thinking about and you'll do things that you didn't realize you could do by attempting to just do something outside your comfort zone. So do it for fun and also try to like, challenge yourself.
Love that,
Sound
dude.
advice.
I think that was pretty sound. Oh, look at that. We made it, Brett.
Was there a time limit? Did I make it? Did I finish the race?
Yeah.
There's no race, but
I wasn't going to have anything to say to fill like 30 minutes and it's already like 10:30. So.
Nah, I usually try to get to an hour and 30 if I can. And we're here. And I want to say thank you for all of your insight when it comes to what you do to virtual photography and just your life.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's been great getting to know you.
Yeah, it was great to chat with you guys. This is an open invite to anybody in the chat. Like, I'm an open book. I like to make friends and be social. So like, do not feel shy to like message me or comment on my posts. Like, I love the interactions. I love getting to know people better. And I try to like push myself to do that too, and not just like. It's like, all right, let me leave a comment or something. And I'm also open to constructive criticism. So like, if do not feel like you're challenging me. If you feel like, oh, I love this Spider-Man shot, I would have, have you ever thought about like maybe like putting the light over here or something like that. Like I would love advice because like I said, I'm not like a photographer by nature. So please, you know, like I encourage the interactions.
Awesome.
How we grow, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Well,
much
thank you,
for
everybody, for joining us. Yeah.
this was a lot of fun.
Loved it, dude.
No, yeah, glad. No, thanks for joining us, man. It's been really great getting to know you. So I could listen to you chat all day. Do you know what I mean? You've come up with something like it's been an amazing journey. It's really good to listen.
You ever
to
get to the point where you're doing season 25 and you need like to get people back, you know, like I'll sign up for one. You
know. We'll keep that in mind.
Okay, guys. I'll see y'all later.
See you later.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Goodbye, everyone.